Yo, what is up Trailblazers, this is Aaron and welcome to a new Honkai Star Rail video on my channel. Okay, so today I'm going to be covering a very special topic. It is actually, I find it quite interesting because one of my viewers from my stream earlier actually asked me about my opinions on how the Landau family will affect the endgame. This is not a topic covered by a lot of people because for one, we all know that those three are good in their own ways and not to be confused with. Second, it's completely for personal reasons on who you should build or who do you think it's better, because I'm just merely stating my opinions on how these three can affect the endgame, or will they make endgame smoother. Now with that being said, I'm going to cover all three of the characters, starting with Serval, Jeopard, and then of course Lynx. Lynx will be saved for last because she is indeed coming with Fushan, and I'll be pulling for her till E6. Hopefully I can get her till E6, but if not, E4 at least. But anyway, that's out of the topic. Now I'm gonna start by talking about Serval. So let's go to Belobog. So here we are in Belobog in Serval's Neverwinter Workshop. Now, of course, I'm gonna keep this short and try and keep this not too long as possible because I don't want people to be sleeping on me. But anyway, first of all, before I start talking about Serval, I want you guys to know that this is completely on my personal opinion. Again, don't take my words for it. This is my personal opinion. I'm just sharing what I think. And you guys are feel free to leave your opinions on these three characters in the comments below. Now, first of all, Serval is, of course, people say like she's a budget Jingyon for one reason, and that is going to be her ultimate. Her ultimate is AoE. While we're putting it in Jingyon's terms, his ultimate is also AoE, but with also the follow-up attack of the Lightning Lord. But I wouldn't say she is like a budget Jingyon. In DOT teams before Kafka, she's a really good shock enabler. Why I say this is because her ultimate, it extends the duration of shock by 2 turns, and also her skill is a good shock enabler as well. The consistency of her proccing shock onto the enemies is actually really high, even if you don't put high effect hit rate on like her relics or stuff. Now, while this may differ on bosses, this is actually subject to like how you're building her. So if you're building like mid EHR and like mostly on attack, then of course there will be in some scenarios where the bosses will have effect res because your effect hit rate is not enough on Serval. Not to mention her energy is only 100, which is very like not much compared to everyone else, because most of the other characters have like above 100. Well, she's only have approximately 100, and that allows her to have almost, and I say almost, 100% uptime of her ultimate. Maybe between 1 to 2 rounds. If you have high energy regeneration rate, then she's definitely going to have 100% uptime on her skill. Now, for some people who only plays 4-star characters but pull for the 5-star light codes, for example, Jingyon's light cone before dawn, putting it on Serval, it will make her deal a shit ton of damage. And of course that is true because it is a 5-star light cone. But what about 4-star light cones? How are they going to shine in MOC 10? It's just a interesting way of playing the game instead of just focusing on meta units, such as the topic I'm covering now, because this is just purely my opinion and how these guys will affect the game. So next up is probably going to be Jeopard, and I'm going to the Silver Main Guards restricted zone to meet up with Jeopard. And here we are at Jeopard's where Jeopard is at Silver Main Guard restricted zone. So for Jeopard, his main skill that shines the most is probably his ultimate, where he gives AoE shield to everyone. So at level 1, his skill is going to his ultimate will be based on 30% of Jeopard's defense plus a few hundred, I believe. And then as for March, if I'm comparing to March, it's 42% at level 3. That's where my March is, and around 300 to 400. Now, of course, there's a big difference on the percentage, but however, we need to keep note that March is single target and Jeopard is AoE. In my opinion, I think Jeopard is actually one of the best, or not, if not the best shooter in the game till the next one releases, but at this current time, Jeopard is probably going to take the crown for the best shooter in the game. One thing to note is Jeopard's skill can be consistently put up. I believe his ultimate is also not too much compared to Serval. Serval's only 100, which is really early. Now let's move on to the final unit, Lynx. And finally, here we are on the last part of the video to talk about Lynx. Now, why am I here? Well, first of all, Lynx has not released yet, and second, it's because Lynx is going to be released with Fushan, so why not? Plus, I love her, so even better. Anyway, now for Lynx, I'm going to be hopping on to one of the websites that gives you info on her skill, so that way I can let you guys know my opinion on how Lynx is probably going to be the most impactful among the three in terms of the end game. So without further ado, I'm going to change my view to my Google Chrome, so it's better to let you guys see on how this is going to play out. Okay, so now here we are in Star Rail Station. This is probably a good website for you guys to track your achievements, your ascension planners, your warp tracker. And it's by no means too much leaks anyway, because everything has already been reviewed. So alright, now let's first talk about her skill, which is probably the one that shines out the most. I'm not saying her ultimate doesn't, but probably more than her ultimate. So salted camping cans at level 1. Okay, let's not talk about level 1. So let's talk about at level 10 where you just max it out. Right here. Okay. So, apply survival response to a single target ally and increases their max HP by 7.5% of Lynx max HP plus 200. If the target ally is a character on the path of destruction or preservation, the chance of them being attacked by enemy will greatly increase. So, survival response lasts for 2 turns and it restores the target's HP by 12% of Lynx max HP plus 320. So, any idea who does the same? Yes, Natasha. But we're gonna talk about Natasha in a bit. I'm gonna cover her ultimate first. So, her ultimate Snowfield First Aid dispels 1 debuff from all allies and immediately restores their respective HP by an amount equal to 13.5% of Lynx max HP plus 360. Okay, this, I'm just gonna say this like straight off the bag. Lynx is going to be one of the most impactful healers in the game, and probably one of the best forethought in the game. Why? One, it increases your character's max HP and increases their taunt. So it doesn't have to be a shielder, because this one, Lynx is perfect compatible with Blade here, because not only increases max HP and also increases like the chance of him being attacked. So we all know Blade relies on his follow-up attacks a lot, because that's how he heals and deals a bunch of damage. I'm not saying his basic attack after skill and ultimate is not good, but his follow attack is probably the one that stand out the most compared to all this. So now, why is Lynx so good? And comparing it to Natasha, why both of them are completely different? Now, to understand this, Natasha's continuous healing is only for like a few, okay, let's not say a few turns, but we can say like her continuous healing is applied based on her skill. It's similar to her, and it also dispels debuffs. So Natasha's one of the pros right there. But let's talk about both of their ultimates right here. So Natasha's ultimate is just doing a massive heal and increases the outgoing healing. So she has a trace that increases. I'm not sure if it is a trace or it's like her signature Lycone, you know, that thing. I'm just gonna put it on the screen here so you guys know what Lycone I'm talking about. And increases her outgoing healing when using her ultimate. It's a really solid 4-star Lycone for her, and it's actually pretty good. But we're not here to talk about that. So her ultimate plainly just heals a huge chunk of amount of HP right there. But besides that, it doesn't do anything too special. However, for Lynx, it's an AoE dispel, which is very, very OP in my opinion, because for one, she doesn't have to rely on skill to like dispel anyone and gives continuous healing. It's the case for Natasha, whereas she dispels someone and then she gives them continuous healing. But the thing is, Natasha's technique is not too good in my opinion, because it's just her shooting a freaking cannon towards the enemy and probably deal a bit of physical weakness break. But correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm like mistaken about Natasha's technique, but Lynx's technique, Chocolate Energy Bar, so after she uses it, at the start of the next battle, all allies are granted the continuous healing from her talent for 2 turns. This is completely instant, no skill, no whatsoever. You already have a continuous healing effect. This makes your entire team survivability skyrocket. It's pretty much impossible for anyone to die in this circumstance unless, for one, the boss actually deals too much of damage, and 2, your character's HP is already low. But even in that scenario, I doubt that it is possible for anyone to die in this situation. Well, I can think of one. If you're doing Simulated Universe World 7 and the boss managed to get 2 of those freaking apples on the field, then yeah, it's GG, because it's going to be one-shot everyone on the field. That's what happened to me anyway. I'm not sure about tanky units, but it even one-shot my blade at full HP, so you know how OP that is. But we're gonna leave that out this because we're talking about MOC and just general overworld exploration. So this is her talent, okay? So if we put her talent on level 10, you see, skill or ultimate applies continuous healing to a target ally for 2 turns. That means no matter what, that continuous healing is always going to be there. Okay, so restoring HP by amount 3.6% of Lynx max HP plus 96 at the start of each turn. If the target survival response, the constant effect additionally restores by an amount equal to 4.5%. So we're talking about, just from this, we're talking about a solid 8.1% heal based on max HP and plus approximate 216 just from this one talent. Alright. Now, survival response just applies the max HP increase. But there's one other stat that you guys might have missed, which is the restores the target's HP by 12% of Lynx max HP plus 320. This is just normal healing, not included with the continuous healing yet. So if we total everything up, alright, if we total everything up, skill and talent, the total amount of percentage of heal Lynx can dish out in probably in just 1 turn for one character is going to be approximately 20.1% of Lynx max HP plus a solid 536. That is a lot. So to summarize everything up, if we're putting Lynx with Bailu and Natasha, because I think Lynx kit is basically a summarize of everything, except it doesn't work the way Bailu's talent works. One of them is basically, okay, so for Bailu, it heals after you get attacked, and for Lynx, it doesn't heal until your turn starts. Similar to Natasha. Which one is more worth or which one is more okay? Of course, Lynx doesn't have the revive ability, so, but if we're not going to count revive ability, I'm gonna say Lynx has the upper hand here. This is just my opinion, but of course you guys are free to leave your comments down below and let me know what you think on these 3. Now I may not do a good job at covering everything because this is actually quite sudden. It's just a really special topic I want to talk about because of course people have their different ways of interpreting what use do they have, or are they even good for like the end game. But I'm just gonna put it out right here in the open, because no matter who you build, as long as you actually dedicate yourself to that one character, you can make it worth your time. In my Landau family tier list, it's probably going to be 1, Lynx has the biggest impact, 2nd, Jeopard, and 3rd, Serval, because there are a lot of characters can replace Serval, and for that part, it's just honestly, if we're gonna talk about his replacement, it's gonna be only March, but way costly. Well, that's probably gonna be it for this video. let me know what you guys thought about this video, and tell me how can I improve on this type of videos, because this is my first time doing one of these. And the SU stream will start in 2 days, so be sure to drop by if you have time, because it's gonna be really fun content to do. It's a big update in the game, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Probably gonna spend a bunch of hours in it trying to grind the jades out of it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Aaron. Hope you all are having a very nice day. I'll see you guys in the next video.